Hello everyone, welcome to the RobBrod Report number 29. Taking a look ahead at the upcoming shows for December 18th and 19th, and also a look back at the two shows I attended on December 11th and December 12th. So let's start into it. As always, on Friday, there's the Pro South show in Piedmont, Alabama. This is their big anniversary show, so it's a lot of interesting matches happening, as you could tell by the pictures I just put up. And if you aren't able to attend it in person, I highly recommend you go to their YouTube channel and watch it live. Excuse me. Purple. All right. That's all the matches I have going on for December 18th. December 19th, I've got 5 shows. Let me set this up so I can see it better. All right. First, the major show of note is Pro Wrestling Circuit makes its return in the COVID era, and they're going to be doing that show in Morrow, Georgia. I believe it's at the face-to-face training school. I've been there before, so that should be a pretty good show. It's a hot lineup, so I probably will be going to that show. So you can look for me there. You gotta make sure the vegetables you throw are fresh. I don't do rotten vegetables at all. Also, this weekend we have Renegade Championship Wrestling in Chatsworth, Georgia. Tri-State Wrestling Alliance in Rossville, Georgia. KLT Promotions in Rome, Georgia. We'll see how many people they can pack out in that one. And then New South Pro Wrestling in Huntsville, Alabama. Period. So those are the shows that are close by, within a couple hours drive of Atlanta, Georgia. There are a bunch of other shows happening outside that bubble, in particular further out west in Alabama and up north in Tennessee. You can check out some of those listings on Wrestling Calendar. Just search for Wrestling Calendar, it'll come right up, and paper fell down. So those are the shows I have going on this weekend. So I probably will be going to Pro Wrestling Circuit in Morrow, and I will be watching the Facebook Live show of Pro South's anniversary. And that's my attention is going to be. I'm not too sure if I'm going to write a report for Pro South yet, but I will be doing for Pro Wrestling Circuit. Anyway, last weekend was supposed to have been a 3-show weekend for me, but life got in the way and I had to miss the 3rd show. But on Friday, I made the drive up to Canton, Georgia, and that reminds me I need to check my Peach Pass. I understand they're having a lot of issues and they're overcharging people, so I got to check that out once I'm done recording here. Of course, this was their big show to crown a new Southern Honor champion after Joe Black had to relinquish it due to injury. There's 6 matches, play-in matches, play-in matches to the 6-man scramble to crown the champion. Gunnar Miller versus Joey Lynch. Gunnar Miller won. Very hard-hitting action. Gunnar threw Joey over the barricades a couple of times, one near me. So it was all in all a barn burner. Lethal Poison made an appearance at the end with Brady Pierce attacking Matt Lynch, and that causes enough of a distraction for Gunnar Miller to pick up the victory on that. Chip Day versus Kyle Matthews was my match of the night. Very much a technical style match, and everyone laid it on the line, and so that's in my running for one of the match of the years. So when it comes up on IWTV, I believe, check that out. Of course, squash match of the night, Cyrus versus Hold My Beer Hansen. Less than 2 minutes and it was done. Cyrus moved on. Poor Hansen. The only problem I have with that is people are still cheering for Cyrus. You got to make him a bad guy. Come on. As much I love Hold My Beer Hansen, you had to leave Hansen leaving in make him a pile of goo as you walk out of the ring. Jordan Kingsley versus Owen Knight, and it just proves why I don't say it proves, but you can see people are sleeping on Owen Knight. I've known about him for several years now. God, I'm getting old. But I think this is very much a showcase. This whole night was a showcase for Owen. If you didn't know what he could do, you certainly can do now. Trevor Aon versus David Ali. David Ali's insurance policy. Austin Towers played a part in this role. Again, Trevor Aon has improved a lot. When he is on his offense, there is absolutely no wasted motions. Smooth transition in the transition, and it was everything had a meaning, and it just added the oomph to it. I can't say enough about that's my if Chip Day versus Kyle Matthews was 1, Aon versus Ali was 1B. And then if I was going to do a 1C, it's Ashton Starr versus Vary Morales. That was another good show. Vary has really exploded upon the scene over the last year. He is doing multiple promotions with multiple angles, working multiple styles, and next year he could he'd be in the one of my picks as a the preseason pick for rest of the year for 2021. So yeah, mark that somewhere. All right, and so Gunnar Miller, Chip Day, Cyrus, Owen Knight, David Ali, and Ashton Starr all advanced to the 6-man scramble. And I gotta admit, didn't see that coming. Didn't see that coming at all. So congratulations to David Ali as the new Southern Honor champion. I expected it was only just under 8 minutes. I was expecting to go more like 12 to 13, so they really kind of fooled everybody on that. Ending no one saw coming, not even David Ali. So it was congratulations, and already there is a match made for the next Southern Honor show, which would be an inside a steel cage. David Ali will defend the Southern Honor title versus Owen Knight. Don't remember if any of them done a cage match before. It has escaped my memory, which is like a sieve these days. So this might be the first cage match, singles cage match for either man. So that should be interesting. So Southern Honor, all in all, was a success. Oh goodness, got a little bit of burple going on there. And nice to see a lot of people. Meet Stevens Platinum again for the second time, and in a non PCW setting. So it was good to see him acting like a little kid during the Chip Day or Kyle Matthews match. That was great. So all in all, I think it was a successful show, and I know on the tipping point they were, what shows really stood out And to me, this one is probably the last thing. I know people will say it's probably the last thing you saw. It could well be. But you remember Southern Honor. You remember back in January the William Huckabee, Joe Black show. You remember the Rumblejack. And then you should probably remember this one. Those were Southern Honors candidates from Show of the Year. So good job for everyone involved with that. And then on Saturday, I made the rather long trip up to Athens, Georgia, to watch the Southern Violence and Wrestling show. This was a senior moment show for me. I had to do everything on a piece of paper, similar to this, and that is never a good idea for me because my writing is chicken scratch. I had to do it that way because I normally would have a portable microphone recorder, and I would dictate to what's going on through that and transcribe it that way. I was very lucky, and I found out that the word processing program had a dictate feature, and I was able to dictate my notes that way, so that saved me some time. Otherwise, I'd probably still be writing it out as I taped this on a Wednesday morning. So I got very lucky that way. Both of those show reports are up at GWH newsandnotes.blogspot.com. Also available on Facebook. Just search GWH Georgia Wrestling History, and you'll go to that page and find those reports. Also, those individual promotions, share those as well. So if you're a member of those fan groups, you can find those on that way as well. Anyway, back to SVW. Always an interesting setup. At least it wasn't raining this time. Last show I went, they had the effects of the hurricane that were blowing through, so that was a good show. And but the weather interfered with that. This show, there was a threat of rain, and we did have a couple drops come down, but in no way affected the show. What affected the show, especially for the first match, is quite literally the dark match for their taping. I mean that quite literally, as they were playing the music for the entrance, and the fuses for the lights covering the ring and the sound position totally blew out. So they had to scramble to fix that, but the match still went on. It was a triple threat match. A couple people I've never seen before wrestle, and so it was a pretty good for opening match with the problems they faced. It was a pretty good match. Another match of note was the Black Diamond Invitational Finals, which Shane Mako versus Mook the BTSG versus Aaron Black. As I said in my report, this was a case of small, medium, and large, and I've actually very enjoyed that match very much. That clothesline that Aaron Black gave Mook the BTSG, you could see BTSG's spirit leaving his body. I mean, there's a clip available on Facebook, and I looked that up, and you can see, it's almost like a 450 spin that Mook did. All right. It was originally supposed to be another triple threat match for the Haas title, vacated Haas title of Austin Towers versus Hold My Beer Hansen versus Cyrus. Unfortunately, Cyrus could not be there, which made the match interesting. I would say this would fall under Goodman's perverse entertainment factors. You had the 7-foot Towers versus the 5'10" Hold My Beer Hansen, and a lot of interesting spots in that. It's kind of getting overdone, but where you have the opponents sitting down in chairs in the middle of the ring, facing each other, and they trade shots. In this case, someone would take a drink of beer, throw a punch. So that person would take a drink of beer, throw a punch, that was the perverse entertainment for me. And Hansen was tricked Towers into chugging the beer, and Towers had a problem doing that, and it ended up with Hansen giving Towers a stunner, and the spit take was awesome. I love that. So hopefully that clip will get up on social media soon, because that should be definitely something to check out. Congratulations, Austin Towers, for winning that title. That would be, as hate the word use secondary titles, but it is what it is. As in an up and coming promotion like Southern Violence is, that is a huge get for Towers. And he also laid out a challenge, and the January show for Southern Violence Wrestling will feature Austin Towers versus Jeter. Hoss fight! Alright. Where was I at? Alright, the main event was members of Team Fame, which was Brandon Watley, Trevor Murdoch, and SVW champion Axelrod versus in a handicap match versus the Scream Seekers, which was Chop Top and Tyler Graves. It was supposed to have been a 3-on-3, but something happened to the third member of the Scream Seekers, so that didn't come into effect. You knew what the ending of that one was going to be. Fame would win. It's just a matter of when, what, who, and how, and why. Give points to Trevor Murdoch for taking a couple of those gusset plates to the face and arm, bleeding rather heavily. But the Team Fame won, but it was a hollow victory in a way, as it was also a tables match too. You had to put opponents through the table in order to win the match. Chop Top got put through the table, so that gives Team Fame the win. Again, it was a kind of a hollow victory, as Frat Party and then Charlie Anarchy came in. Anarchy sent champion Axelrod in through the table, and that will set up the match at the January show of Axelrod versus Charlie Anarchy. Speaking of Charlie Anarchy, his and Very Morales' match was my match of the night. It was a very good setup, and had a lot of little points in there that will advance further on, as I mentioned previously. Also, possible seeds of dissension sown into the ranks of Team Fame. So that looks, like I said, I'm high on Very Morales at the moment. 2021 is going to be a very good year. I hope for him. Hopefully, he won't get injured. No injuries. Another match of note was the No Rules Hardcore match between Suicide King Brad Cash and the returning Effie. Effie was seconded by Dylan McQueen. I've heard about Dylan McQueen before. My first time seeing him in person. So that was interesting. That added an interesting note on that. Someone took the... Gotta love this. Someone took a seat out of a metal folding chair and strung up a bunch of gusset plates. It looked like 9, it could have been 12, but at least 9 gusset plates into where the seat would be on a folding chair. And Brad Cash kicked that into the face of Effie. Obviously, Effie bled on that. Brad Cash ending up winning, and we did see a couple of kisses. So it was a nice little touch there. So that's basically my review for the Southern Violence and Wrestling Report, and that's really all I have for this week. And I'll see everyone at Pro Wrestling Circuit. And again, it's going to be heavily traveled time. I'm going to keep saying this. I know probably people saying what a mark I am for this, but be careful out there. if you try to keep 6 feet away, if you don't know that person, you know, if you don't break bread with that person or get biblical with that person, stay away from those people. If you have to be within that 6 feet, wear a mask. I know it's a hassle. I don't like it either. My job, I have to wear one for 9 hours a day. Sunday, I wore one for 14 hours. So fuck you if you don't like to wear it. Wear it anyway. So I'll see everyone at the matches, and then it's going to be an abbreviated show next week. Actually, might be 2 videos next week, because there are shows coming up after Christmas. And then I'll probably do a year in review and my own look ahead to the year-end awards. So I'm going to try, that'll be something I'll be doing this weekend. It looks like I have a 3-day weekend this weekend, so yay me. So anyway, that's it. Love you lots. Take care. Be safe. Merry Christmas. Happy Hanukkah. Happy holidays. Happy anything. Have a good night.